Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to my channel, Engelgeist. Ooh, big morning stretch. How are you guys? I hope you're doing well. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Let's get into today's forecast. This is for Saturday, the 16th of May. It is a timeless message with the intention of reaching whoever it needs to, whenever it needs to. So it's not necessarily set for the 16th of May. It's something to focus on for the highest good, for the greater collective, right? So let's see what's going on with the energy. I'm going to move kind of quickly through this one only because I have to jump in the shower and go to an appointment. So I just want to see what's going on. If you want to support the channel, you can simply go over to Patreon and look up Engelgeist and do a monthly subscription there where you'll get to see the daily forecast early. You can follow my Instagram at Engelgeist333. You can like, share, comment on any of the videos, watch them in their entirety, and share them with friends. Book a private reading with me through my business page on Facebook. Always hit the notification bell if you do subscribe so you get notified when I go live. I haven't been doing a lot of lives lately, only because I've been, I don't know, it's this funny feeling of preserving my energy. I've just not been feeling it lately, and I'm not sure what that's about. So it's like this reluctance. It's not that it's, I just am not, I don't know, I'm taking time to myself. If that makes any sense. So, bearing that in mind, do hit the subscribe button, and when I do go live, you will be notified if you hit the bell. Alright, so yesterday we had, which I just watched actually technically this morning because I filmed these a day early, we had that energy of that Ten of Wands, and so I'm interested to see what today's card is from the Tarot. We're working with the Tarot, the Mystical Dream Tarot. And so it's been an interesting month, May, so far. We're halfway through it, and the two decks we've been using have been quite sort of interesting. This tarot deck uses very different imagery than what I'm used to. And so sometimes these cards take me to places that are different than what the normal rendition of that card would be. So let's see what's going on. We have that Ouroboros energy that's underpinning today, technically, and tomorrow, which will be Saturday when you watch this. So keeping that in mind, that's that Wheel of Fortune energy, that's that slow turning sort of energy that kind of, it's like what we're focusing on is sort of what we're moving towards, even if it's at a slow, methodical pace. And we want to keep that in mind as we're moving throughout today, depending on what this card is. So this is the Nine of Wands. So we had the Ten of Wands yesterday. This is weird to me too, because this feels like angry dude. What is going on here? Is this... He's got this sword in front of him. I literally feel like this is us struggling with our mind. I don't know what's going on out there for you guys. I would love a comment if anybody can relate to what I'm about to share, because I'm a little bit thrown off by these cards. They don't necessarily feel like where I'm at per se, which is fine, because I don't necessarily read for myself. But this card to me feels like, when I look at this, I feel like we have this man here, right? We have the stag, and yesterday we saw somebody that was very tired in the Ten of Wands. To me, this Nine of Wands feels a little bit more fiery, right? He feels like he's got a little bit of fight in him, but it's like we've got this noose hanging on one side, we've got death like kind of clocking on the other. We've got all of these branches going out into different directions, and these branches to me feel like almost the ideas of his mind, and the way where we can take ourselves in our mind to all of these different sort of conclusions or ideas. There's this definite feeling of defense with him, especially with this sword. Like, it feels like he needs to defend himself, he needs to justify himself. Some of you might feel as though you need to sort of fight for your purpose or defend your place in the world right now. And this could be something as simple as defending it against sort of everything that's going on in the world and where you fit into the grand scheme of things. But I feel like there's sort of both confusion and strength in this tree, if that makes any sense to you guys at all. I feel like these branches going off in different directions, although they're strong, like our thoughts are strong, where we grow our mind is strong, where we place it out is strong, but we're also grounding in that, right? That's these roots that we see here. The emotionality that we saw in yesterday's Ten of Wands is behind us. I see the water is here behind. It's almost feeding this tree, right? So I do feel like we've turned a corner. We may be less tired. We might be more willing to fight for what we want, or be more aggressive, or more fiery, dynamic, make clearer decisions, more communicative about what we want. But I still get this sense of sort of like like we're still viewing things as being sort of bleak, or a struggle. That's this sort of noose and death on either side. To me, it feels like there's a fight to be had. Like, I'm not sure what you guys are struggling with, or if you guys are struggling, but to me, this feels like you feel more empowered in this card than you do in yesterday's card, right? That Ten of Wands. To me, the Ten of Wands felt like he had sort of given up yesterday. Here, it feels like we are sort of like maybe resetting ourselves, regrounding ourselves in our beliefs, in the clarity of like our ideas. We're not 100% sure about our thoughts. That's why his sword is down here, is how I feel. Or we've set our emotions behind us to a degree. We've sort of had to like sort of stick and go like, okay, this is what I want. This is how it's going to be. And then sort of deal with the ramifications of that. Even if we fear those ramifications, that would be like sort of this noose. That would be death here. Like, even if we fear, making the choice sets us onto a path that we can't turn away from. But that path, like what I want to say about this is I feel like that path is sort of going to produce growth within us. That's the element of this tree that is beneficial, right? And although we might feel sort of confused by our thoughts at times, or a little bit sort of like going in different directions sometimes, right? That all of these thoughts and all of these sort of opportunities that we kind of create in our mind, even if they're not opportunities, right? Maybe they're negative thoughts or dismal thoughts, right? They sort of grow us and strengthen us too. Even if we end up sort of mistakenly manifesting a situation that we don't want out of our own fear or our own worry of that coming towards us, right? And that's kind of what I feel like this Nine of Wands is saying to me. Is sort of like, what are we manifesting? Are we manifesting ideas where we could get sort of hung up or confused, caught in our own ideas? Or, you know, and yesterday's Ten of Wands was a lot about him giving up burdens and death, right? And so, like, sort of facing the idea of just dying on the vine in a way. And we haven't left that that perspective yet. I feel like something's being released, guys. And I have to say this too. There's his bare chest to me in this card makes me feel like we are vulnerable. We feel vulnerable right now. Maybe we feel vulnerable to the pandemic. Maybe we feel vulnerable to our media. Maybe we feel vulnerable to our friends and family. This is a decision that I feel like we're making on our own. That we're facing fears, we're facing worries, we're facing, you know, our own strengths and weaknesses all at once. But also the bare feet make me feel vulnerable too. We may also, as I'm looking at him backed up against that tree, we might also feel like there's nowhere to go. In the sense of we might have to like sort of push our way forward, or make a decision we're sort of feeling afraid to make. Like his back is against the wall in a way. We're going to have to root down into our strength and sort of ground in who we are and in that vulnerability, and make a clear, concise decision and then move forward with it. whether it means the death of something or not. Let's see what the mystical shaman says, or shaman says. Okay, we have eagle. I think hawk is generally messenger. Eagle, I can't think of what eagle is right now off the top of my head. The card is number 16, which is a 7, which usually deals with like choices. Decisions need to be made. And it's funny because when I think about this card here, this 9 of Wands, it feels like a decision is being made where we are planting our feet firmly into the ground and kind of having to root ourselves where we're at with what we've got and deal with the outcome. That's sort of what I feel like. I also feel like this eagle is trying to remind us that we sometimes can get stuck in our own view or visualization of where we're at, and we could be wrong about that. And the reason why I say that is sort of this eagle swoops down and he picks up exactly what he needs, and then he's able to fly away. There's a lot more freedom in this eagle card than there is in this 9 of Wands, if that makes any sense, because it feels like that tree is right behind him. So to me, when I think of the card Upper World, right, and that call out and that flow card that we saw twice this week, to me, if spirit is at work, and spirit definitely comes to us in the form of birds, in the form of feathers, those sort of things, eagle is reminding us to look at things with a more discerning eye. I almost feel like the sun is peeking behind the eagle's wing. We might be getting in our own way of being able to see our situation as clearly as possible. Eagle sort of, it feels like it's taking me to this place of reminding me, or having me remind you guys that sometimes we need a higher perspective. Like I think of eagle eye, you know, the discernment, the accuracy of an eagle and its vision is so much stronger when it's looking at things from a higher perspective. And I feel like that's sort of the reminder of this card. Let me read eagle really. Look, first, shit, I want to not knock everything over. I'm going to read you the 9 of Wands, and then I'm going to read you eagle, just because I'm interested to know. Let me see here. So, 9 of Wands. The horned one stands by the tree of life as one who is stripped bare of all but truth. Honor and sacrifice, understanding of the realities of life and death are the beliefs he carries with him. He stands firm with fiery passion and devotion to his principles, a faithful champion of truth. He understands the risk involved in accepting his temporary role. Standing in front of the tree of life is merely one moment in time until he is usurped by adversaries, those who would displace him from his position. One awaits him seated with the axe. Another has tied the noose upon the branch. Behind him, water likewise awaits to drown him. Sacrifice is necessary, and it is called for from all directions. The horned one knows that his time is short, that his role is temporary, and that each moment heralds the passing of his time, and he along with it. He is not bitter. He understands eternity, and the place of timelessness is in the beyond. This is a card of strength and power, of knowing one's place and one's adversaries. This is also a call to understand that life is about coming and going. Nothing remains secure. Kings die along with peasants. Triumphs are matched by defeat. The horned one represents acceptance of life's challenges, as well as temporary incarnational time, where change is a reality and delays often are the rule. In a reading, understand and embrace sacrifice on the road to manifestation. Exercise caution, reflect upon choices, accept delays. Meditation and honor keep one focused during challenges. So I kind of feel like that's all of these branches going off in different directions for him. It's definitely a message to stay strong, guys, but we do feel vulnerable or challenged. Let me read Eagle really quick. And it's okay to feel vulnerable or challenged, right? We also have to know that we can protect ourselves and that we will see ourselves through this. And again, I'm going to say this, we can call in spirit to sort of assist us, our guides, our own higher self. which would also represent that tree. I mean, it's been a theme this entire week, guys. 16, not 17 here. Okay. 16, the essence. Eagle comes from the east, the place of the rising sun, of new beginnings. She soars high in the sky, sees the smallest detail with clarity without losing track of the bigger picture, and nests in the highest mountains. For Eagle, there are no obstacles, only opportunities. She calls you to ascend, to acquire perspective, so you can fly wing to wing with great spirit. The invitation. Have you become trapped in your daily routine and feel you do not know where to go and what to do next? Have you lost your sense of purpose? Eagle invites you to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? Eagle reminds you that your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. As you contemplate choices, ask yourself, do I want to live in a chicken coop, sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings, or do I want to soar like an eagle? If your answer is the latter, then you must accept Eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom. The medicine. It is time to see through the eyes of Eagle. Let your vision of the whole and of its parts become laser-like and set your priorities straight. What did you come to do in this life? Did you come to climb up the ladder of financial or social success? Did you come to become a better person, to heal your heart, and to realize your essential self? What is your divine mission here on earth? No more excuses. Of course, you do not have enough time, enough money, or enough sleep, yet the time is now to fly to your chosen purpose. If you postpone it, you are betraying yourself. Look through the eyes of Eagle and consider every obstacle an opportunity. Where you set your intention is where you'll end up. That's that Ouroboros card, guys, and that's what I feel like he's challenged to do. Free yourself and live your highest destiny. Fly. I feel like that's what this Nine of Wands gentleman is challenged to do right now, is to make a choice, ground in that choice, and fight for the outcome of that choice. Is he brave enough, or does he feel too vulnerable? That's the question I would ask each and every one of you. Whatever your choice may be it around a move, a job, a relationship that might need to be let go. Are you brave enough to, I don't know, chase the manifestation, fight for the manifestation? And I have to say, I feel like with this Nine of Wands, some of this feels a bit like some of you may hold yourself back. Like, it gives me this sort of stay and fight feeling to it. And it almost feels like these two are conflicted. It's funny, we have all of this blue-green color and all of this green in the background of this tree. To me, these colors match up very well. Like, these cards are paired together beautifully. So, the grounding stone is gratitude. This is something to ground in while you're dealing with this day, while you're dealing with your thoughts. Be grateful for whatever decisions you do make, and then sort of stick to them as best you can, would be my advice, or what my guidance feels like it's trying to sort of say here. That when you're centered in that sort of gratitude, it will help you to sort of lift yourself up and fly. It will help you to see things from a bigger perspective. It will help you to feel less vulnerable. It will help you to feel like there's more opportunity. You might become more aware of your strength. This is going to be an interesting day, I think, for you guys. Please leave me a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe, and let me know how your day has been going. I'm interested to know if these are resonating with anybody or not. I feel like there's some challenges that are going on that either we're attempting to avoid or not look at, or we're making a decision and holding the line, towing the line, so to speak, even though it almost feels like to me, this Nine of Wands feels like we know that it's the wrong thing, even though we're choosing it. Does that make sense? I feel like Eagle's trying to tell us, no, do something different. Fly up out of here. feeling that I get from these cards. I don't get the sense that the man in the Nine of Wands is super happy. I feel like he feels stuck, like almost trapped by his own sort of thoughts, his own perceptions, his own mind. And unfortunately that mind and that tree is strong. Alright, that is your forecast. I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure if these are making sense to you guys, but you know, it is this mystical May and these mystical oracle decks. So that might be part of it. I would ground in gratitude today. Find what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. Live in that energy. I feel like that energy will be lighter and might allow you to lift up and take wing and fly, sort of like this eagle, and get another perspective, if that makes sense, which I feel like some of you may need. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the Sunday forecast. A new week begins, and thank you all for watching. I love you all, and have a good day. Seriously, stay in that gratitude, guys. All right, bye-bye.